All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. This is absolutely insane. I got to be honest with you. I'm running on like 3, 4 hours of sleep now. I posted that video last night around like 12:40 when Trey Wingo dropped the bombshell out of nowhere, and I was up messaging Jets fans. I was checking out all the comments. It was just totally awesome, right? All this speculation, all this buzz, all this hype surrounding a potential Aaron Rodgers New York Jets trade. Like we've been talking about it and talking about it for so long. But now it's really seeming like things are materializing here. This could get done. So we have some newer updates here that have came out. Most recently, Ian Rapoport here of the NFL Network reporting that Aaron Rodgers has received permission to speak with the Jets. A source confirms some due diligence. We've seen Dan Graziano from ESPN hop on Get Up this morning. He also made a really, really interesting point here. Have it pulled up. He said Rodgers still has not made any announcements about what he intends to do this season. It's still possible he decides to retire or stay in Green Bay. But if he still wants to play and he and the Packers agree it's time for him to play somewhere else, the Jets appear to be the realistic option, right? So the good news here, it's down to three, right? Down to three options. And I really don't want to jinx it here, but I just feel like retirement isn't, of course it might still be on the table, but the amount of money that Rodgers is due is just enormous, right? So you got to think that if he's talking to the Jets, if he's reached the point where he's talking to the Green Bay Packers, and we've literally been in this process for months now, right? Where we're waiting on Rodgers to make his decision. He's been out of the darkness for weeks now. I think retirement is probably the least likely out of the three. And we're not seeing any reports about the Raiders. We're not seeing any reports about the Titans, the two teams that have been kind of linked with Rodgers along with the New York Jets here. It's just the Jets that people are talking about, right? I mean, Rapoport could have easily tweeted out, if he had the information, Rodgers is set to go talk to Tennessee. Of course, that maybe can still come out, but as we stand right now, Tuesday morning, it's looking like it's either going to be the Green Bay Packers or the New York Jets, and literally blows my mind here. Now, there's a couple of ways that we can look at this, right? The first is by basically, it's coming from the standpoint of Rodgers will be a New York Jet. You can make the argument, right? Or you can ask the question, if Rodgers wanted to stick with the Green Bay Packers, putting the retirement stuff aside for a sec, if Rodgers wanted to stick with Green Bay, why is he talking to the Jets? Why are the Green Bay why is this even a thing here? There has to be a significant level of interest in leaving Green Bay, in wanting to join the Jets for these discussions to even take place. Because if Rodgers did not want to go to the Jets, screw that, I'm not going. Why would he sit down? Why would these talks be going on? Why would they continue throughout, the day, which is, again, according to ESPN, the plan as of right now? It just doesn't make much sense. So you can make that argument. If Rodgers is 1 foot out the door with Green Bay, he's already talking to another team, just like Derek Carr did with the New Orleans Saints. Not only is Rodgers interested and is open to New York, just like Trey Wingo pointed out, which was awesome, by the way, with all these different reporters. And, we see all these tweets all the time, these different rumors and, per sources tweets and everything, that he was the one that was able to break the story. I just think it's pretty cool. But you can also say that, hey, not only is Rodgers, again, open to coming to New York and interested in coming to the Jets, but the Green Bay Packers obviously have maybe something worked out behind the scenes with the Jets already in place. And this is something that we've talked about dating back to the Senior Bowl here. Everybody in the world knows that the Jets love Aaron Rodgers. They're going to do whatever it takes to land him. The Woody Johnson, Joe Douglas, they're completely enamored with Rodgers. Again, whatever it takes, they're down to do it. Draft picks, money, whatever. So if the hard part is done, right, they have the trade compensation worked out, maybe it comes down to two questions. Of course, number one, does Aaron actually want to pull the trigger and do it? Or number two, what's going on with the financial situation, right? Because the Green Bay Packers, if he's traded before June 1st, they're going to have to take on a $40+ million dead cap hit. I've talked to a couple Packers fans and surprised by this. The majority of them are actually saying, like, you know what, it's worth it. Like, we just want to move on already. We're ready for Jordan Love. We're tired of the situation, what's going on. Every offseason, something like this happens. We're okay eating the $40 million. And then, on the flip side, which is interesting in and of itself, but we have a whole separate argument or a whole separate take on the situation where it's not like Aaron is looking at the Jets from afar saying, oh my God, I really want to go there. Green Bay, I got to get out of here. I want to go meet Saul. I want to go meet Joe Douglas, Woody Johnson, and talk about the future. It's not so much where Aaron is like actively trying to leave Green Bay. He might be looking at the Green Bay Packers situation or talking to the organization, and they're like, hey, you know what? We're okay moving off from Jordan Love. We're also okay, with having you back. And Rodgers, being 39 years old here, wants to explore his options. Is a guy in Aaron Rodgers really going to be traded away to a team and have no say over it, or not even speak to anybody with the new organization? No, probably not. Chances are he's going to want to sit down with them, according to Ian Rapoport here, do his due diligence, figure out what the team has to offer, just like Derek Carr did. Right? Sit down, get a feel for everything. What's the plan? Offensive staff, Hackett's already in-house, which is awesome. A major pull in regards to potentially acquiring Rodgers here. But this whole thing is just completely fascinating. And I know, admittedly, I know I might be a little annoying here with all of these Aaron Rodgers videos over the last month, right? But the Jets have a chance to literally land, in my opinion, a top 5 quarterback of all time. So I'm sorry, and I apologize if, some of you guys are worn out from the topic or are just tired of the constant talk about Rodgers and Derek Carr. I get it completely. So, no hard feelings at all. I do apologize for it, but we're going to monitor the situation. We are going to monitor the situation. What is going to happen? I feel like there's got to be some sort of news, whether it's Rodgers greenlighting the trade, get me over to New York, or maybe him just saying, hey, I met with the Jets and I just like my chances with Green Bay a little bit more, so I'm going to be sticking with them. Absolute madness. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.